Hey, Alex, kind of a specific one to start, but I wonder in your, limited opportunities out there, how much changes when you have the versatile pieces and sort of the pre-snap motion that you guys do have. How does that help you kind of figure out what the defense is trying to do?
Um, yeah, I mean, every week the game plans are obviously tailored to that week's defense that we're facing, their personnel, things like that. So it can change week to week, and that's kind of the chess match that the coaches obviously play as far as designing the game plan and us going out and executing it. Um, I think the biggest thing, yeah, is a little bit just getting the rep, seeing that visual back there. Those are, that's obviously invaluable. And there's limited reps in the week period, even just for the starter. So, it's nice to obviously take advantage of those to try to, forecast what we're expecting and obviously to get those looks.
And does having, obviously two guys who have played receiver as well as running back in Antonio and JD, does that how does that factor into that process?
Well, I mean, I think those guys are versatile, so that I think that makes them obviously valuable and allows us to do multiple things with them. Certainly, even when we have them both on the field at the same time. Um, yeah, and again, that kind of changes week to week as well. So, but certainly, it's they're both weapons for us, and guys I think that we look to. So certainly, valuable in that sense.
Thanks.
Nikki?
Hey, Alex. Just with this being your first start with Scott Turner and everything, what is the process as you guys are developing the game plan? Like, how much input do you have? How much back and forth is there?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always Scott is so great. There's always been a kind of an open door policy, especially certainly as quarterbacks. He comes in and certainly we have the ability to voice our opinion and whether or not things make it or not, that's just week to week. It depends on how early we get ideas to him, things like that. And that's just how that's how that goes, everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is, obviously going back to it, putting the plan together of how we're going to attack these guys, the matchups, all the intricacies of that, and having a plan, for all the scenarios, as an offense, certainly as a quarterback, and for us to go out there and to execute no matter what. Certainly got to be ready for a lot. So, nice to obviously have the full week of work as far as putting that together.
Heather?
Hey, Alex, talking about that full week of work for fans that, don't get to be at a NFL practice or themselves. What is the main difference for you, as the starter when you're getting those first team reps and, is it almost like riding a bike now that you're back in the starter's, seat for the first time in 2 years?
Yeah. So the first part, yeah, I mean, to obviously get the reps. Like I said, the biggest thing a lot of times is two things, even just the visual, of seeing the defensive looks out there. That's big. I think getting comfortable with what you're seeing, comfortable with the numbers, obviously who goes where, all that stuff, the looks, things that specific defense might do that are unique. And then the throws as well, obviously getting the reps full speed with the guys, anticipating throws, things like that. Those are obviously the two big, I think, takeaways, certainly from being a starter and getting the reps throughout the week.
Scott Abraham?
Hey, Alex, obviously this is not your fault, but it seems like the fan base is kind of divided right now on who should be the starting quarterback going forward. There's a fraction that believes you give this team the best chance to win, but then there's also a fraction that believes you should give the younger guy to develop more of a chance. I guess, why do you think you're the right quarterback for this moment right now to lead this team and be the starter?
Yeah, obviously I get paid to play quarterback, and I'm going to do whatever's asked of me. I feel like I'm ready to roll. I'm confident in that, and obviously that's coach's decision to make, and the coach's decisions to make. So we're players. We go out and play. This is a team sport. Obviously things change. Certainly they do. Injuries, the way the season's gone, things like that. But yeah, this is I got the opportunity this week, and I'm going to make the most of it. That's my plan. I'm not worried about anything else. I'm not worried about opinions here or there. I'm doing what I can to go out there and try and win a football game.
Thank you, Alex.
Matt Paris, Chris Russell, and then Ben.
Hey Alex, on Sunday you threw for more yards than you did in 2018 in a single game. Is that just as simple as you guys are behind, so you needed to throw, or is there something there with your comfortability with Scott Turner's offense?
Um, there's probably multiple things in that. Yeah, obviously lopsided game, so we're gonna get, a little. You can get one dimensional. I also think a little bit that was obviously a stout front we played even when I was in early and attempting to run the ball. Obviously they were pretty good up front. Um, Scheme has a lot to do with that as well. Certainly what we're running on offense as well as playmakers. So obviously the guys out there we're all a unit. So it takes all of us to go out there and have any kind of success. And so all those things I think play into that. Yeah.
Chris?
Hey, Alex. Just curious, now that you've been, back for obviously 2 games and this will be your first start, how much communication do you like from Scott? Like say in your helmet, in your earpiece before a snap and before the audio communication goes off? Are you a guy that likes a lot, likes a little? How do you kind of deal with that? And then I guess as a follow up to that, how much words outside of the actual play call do you give to your guys in the huddle? Are you kind of just play call and that's it? Or do you give some encouragement or maybe some extra detail when you get a chance?
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to situational football, that's probably when most of the talking is going on the sidelines and in the headset with Scott. Obviously, you're preparing for all those situations. You practice them all week, but certainly on game day, they come up all the time. You don't know when they're going to come up, and you got to be ready for them. So certainly reminders and obviously talking through that stuff does help. As far as in the huddle and how much I talk, yeah, I mean that changes play to play. Again, going into situational football, as well as all week. I think there's things as we rep these plays all week, walk through practice reps, you're constantly banking points of emphasis. Even in the meeting rooms, things like that. So certainly some plays have more points of emphasis, others don't. So yeah, I mean, I think sometimes there are plays you come in certainly with multiple reminders for guys. Other plays are obviously, I think, core plays for us and we call and can go. So all of the above there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Ben?
Hey, Alex. I think if I recall, after the Rams game, you said it would be kind of wild to watch your own game tape because obviously you hadn't done that in a while. I imagine you enjoyed watching this game tape a bit better. What just sort of stood out to you watching yourself out there? And then I guess sort of second, how much have you been able to sort of catch up on the Lions going into your first start?
Was great to be able to watch myself again, extended reps, full speed, obviously a little better conditions than my first outing. So it was nice. I think a lot of things, again, I felt like having moved beyond the whole contact issue, I really just went out there and played. I was focused on playing football and just executing. I wasn't thinking about anything else. So that was nice in that sense to really kind of progress beyond that. For me, to get to be put in different scenarios, having to move around in the pocket, having to escape a little bit, those are all things obviously I've worked hard on, and nice to see some that translate to the field. Yeah, so it was great. There was a lot of good on the tape to watch from all of us as a unit. Certainly, though, at the end, you're left with pretty bitter taste in your mouth the way it ended last week. So, you learn from it and move on. And then, yeah, that's the name of the game in the NFL. You quickly flush it, and starting Monday, you're basically on to Detroit and getting ready. So I think that's important in this league, good or bad, being able to flush the week prior and move forward.
Hey, Alex. Have you, over the last couple of years, did you kind of wonder what it would be like to start a game again? Did you imagine it? Did you kind of run through the process?
No, I mean, I guess I didn't quite get that far. For me, it was all about the challenge of obviously, going and getting out on the field. And certainly, I think it has progressed into that here, obviously, as that has become more realistic and closer. But it obviously, it's been a long time, even just driving into work with that feeling, obviously knowing that the ball's in your hands. and preparing all week like that. It has been a while since I've had that feeling, obviously. So almost 2 years to the week. So, and it's different, that's a different deal. And that's part of the, like I said, I've said this a bunch, but certainly why I've chased this coming back, that feeling certainly of being on the line, of towing the line, putting yourself out there. Obviously with this game and how important every week is, it's an amazing feeling and love the challenge.
What is that drive
More
like? I mean, does
JP,
more stuff go through your head? Or is it more, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, it's more intense. Sorry, it's definitely more intense. Certainly, you got to make the most of the limited time you have. So you really got to be efficient every single day. There's different objectives, and certainly today, making the most of a Wednesday and what I need to get done. So,
JP.
Hey, Alex, have you allowed yourself to think about, just the last time you were getting ready to start a game, how wildly different everything is? Just teammates, coaching staff, COVID protocols, it's a different world almost.
Yeah, absolutely is. Yeah, very, very different place, certainly. But also at the same time, still a lot the same, that feeling I guess I was just talking about, still very much the same, getting ready to go out there and try to find a way to win, the feeling of all week preparing for that challenge, certainly us going on the road this week. So yes and no, but certainly yeah. Obviously a lot has happened since 2 years ago, not just for myself, but certainly for all of us and the conditions that we're in right now.
And then of all the things you're looking forward to about being the starter again, where do these Wednesday pressers rank for you?
Yeah, this Zoom format is, I'm not going to lie, much easier than, the face-to-face deal. And that's part of it. But yeah, this is definitely an easier format, a little more organized. It's easier with being able to mute you guys.
John,
Hey.
last one.
Okay, Alex, a lot has been made this week about preparation, your leadership in that regard. For one, were you always like this? Did you have that approach with the same approach when you were younger? Did you develop that? And then also, because a lot of this relates to Dwayne, what have you talked to him about that?
Yeah, no, I think you're always trying to get better, and certainly how I prepare to play. I've learned a lot from a lot of guys that I played with over the years. Everybody kind of has a different style, and certainly, you keep things that work for you and help you, and obviously things that you don't. So I feel like, yeah, it took me a long time to kind of, I think, figure out my routine, and obviously you still always try to perfect it and get better at it. Yeah. And as far as, I don't think a lot of times, certainly there are times when, we talk about things, but as far as preparing, but for me, a little bit more about going about my business, this will be the first time, preparing all week, as a starter for the guys in the room. So not so much always about talking about it, but just doing it.